Ooh, I timed that perfectly. Well, damn, where the hell Will go?
He said BRB. He's gonna BRB.
Oh, he's got to go deal with all six of his baby mamas. Don't mind him too much, guys.
Damn, dude.
Kids running rampant in the background, and Lord have mercy. But anyways, welcome back, everybody. This is Saturday Night Nerds live streaming podcast, episode 2 of season 3. I got a special guest with me from Comically Inclined, editor in chief Danny Stewart, aka the Nerd King.
What up? What is going on, my guys?
Not
I'm
much.
super excited. Long time listener, first time caller. Just happy to be here. And I love everything you guys do.
I appreciate you being on the show and spending time with us today. So we're pretty much going to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Our second topic will be DCU's The Flash and all of our theories and predictions about that. And then last but not least, we have a bonus topic for tonight that is Cocaine Bear. So everybody that doesn't want to be spoiled, you can take off whenever after the second topic is done. We will not be mad. So if Will, you got anything that you want to share with them before we play this theme song?
No, I think y'all said everything right. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Without further ado, it's time to turn up.
Is the best thing what? Exactly.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Woo!
Still going strong. Yeah. That is our infamous theme song for Saturday Night Nerds live streaming podcast made by our cousin Drizzy Miyagi, or aka Miyagi taught me, and we had to say it with the girl accent too. So
Wait, what?
Miyagi taught me that's the only way you can pronounce his producer name. I don't know why he has that thing, but shout out to him. We love you. Thank you for this wonderful theme song. We're working on a new one pretty soon, so we'll probably have a few more episodes with this one, and then we got to put on another producer in the spotlight.
Yeah. Another banger, though, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I hope so. It's got to beat this one. No.
So everybody, if you're new to what's going on here today, you get to meet the Nerd King, the motherfucking editor in chief of Comically Inclined, ladies and gentlemen. It's Danny Stewart.
Editor in chief, founder, website operator, head of publishing, head of production, head of the studio. Blake and I stay busy. We got a lot going on top of, being construction workers as well. So we stay pretty busy. We also own Cape Events, which is our local con company. We put on Cape Con every October, and then we got Anime Con coming up very soon in April, April 1st. You can get your tickets online at cape-events.com, or you can go to comicallyinclined.com. That's our website, and it'll link you back there. And you can also get some of this sweet Comically Inclined merch on our site if you want it, or not. I mean, I'm not your dad. But yeah, and shit, what else was I gonna say? Oh, we got April. We've got Morgan Berry, who's from My Hero Academia and Dragon Ball, and she's been in a ton of anime. And we've also got Rick Robertson, who is the voice of Dabura from Dragon Ball. And what's the character from Yu Yu Hakusho?
He was the guy that Yusuke fought. He was like the Demon King.
Tagora or no?
Tagora, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've also got Adasa, who's the voice of Dolores from Encanto. So if you want to be one person worth of distance away from God damn it, Lin-Manuel Miranda, then come meet Adasa.
Okay,
that's for sure. And please do not talk about Bruno.
Yeah,
for the love of God.
We don't talk about Bruno.
That is the biggest no in all of pop culture.
I know that once it's stuck in your head, you can't get rid of it. That's for sure.
Oh no,
that's
right?
true. I did not want to get canceled tonight, so I'm just going to keep Bruno's name out my mouth.
You just said it.
From this point forward.
Yeah, keeping Bruno out of my mouth is just a general rule for living, honestly.
Right, I don't want
That's
him
true.
now.
That's a big no.
I'm good. I'm great.
What's up, Blake? We got Blake right there in the comments. So shout out to Blake. That is the other half of Comically Inclined.
Good, Blake.
Yeah, that's my better half for sure.
Mm-hmm. Super strong, significant other.
Yeah. He picks me up when I'm down. He's the wind beneath my wings.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful, man.
That touched my heart, man. You know what I'm saying? Deontay, can I say the same about you, man? You know what I'm saying? You are the wind beneath my balls. And you pick me up when I'm
man, he just pulled a blowfly on you, man.
Yeah, he just went from under cheese all over my head, man. What?
I think what he's trying to say is your Viagra.
So I lift him up.
I love you, bro.
When his anxiety takes over his blood flow, I get it.
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah, there we go.
Man.
Yeah, without further ado, we got the first topic of the night. Is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Oh,
this is full-scale movie review with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess, Will, if you want to go first, or Tommy, you good to go?
I mean, I can go first if you guys want me to, man.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I think overall, I thought the movie was good. Like, I don't think that it was in any way, shape, or form a bad movie. I mean, we saw the Rotten Tomato stuff that came out beforehand, and it going into the movie, it didn't feel that way, you know, with what the reviews were saying. And I had a lot of fun with it. I thought visually, I think it's my favorite Marvel film, and I think that I think that it being otherworldly and it being kind of like that cosmic Marvel that we've been waiting for. I think that's what really launched the movie forward for me, was just the visuals. And then I really like that Veb character that was played by what's his name? I know his last name is Malkin. Yeah, the guy who played the Polka Dot Man. I thought that he was amazing in the movie, and I felt like there were a lot of fun moments, and there were moments that I didn't enjoy. Like, I didn't like some of the scenes with Janet, where she was kind of like not wanting to speak, and it was very hard to kind of get her to communicate with everybody in her group. And that was kind of like the running theme throughout the movie, was that she just wasn't speaking up about it. And then I don't know, I felt, and I wasn't a big fan of Cassie prior to her getting the suit. Like, once she's in the suit, I have fun with her after that. But like before that, I just didn't really care for the personality change. And it felt like a weird transition from the previous movie's Cassie to this Cassie. And it felt a little off. It felt a little forced that this was a different actress. And but overall, I would say that it's not a 6 worthy movie. I think it's at least in that 8 range. Not quite like the best, but I would definitely say that it's not a mediocre film in any way.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that.
Yeah. You really kind of put my feelings in the, you know, you hit it. That's what kind of how I felt about it, actually.
Right.
I would say at least 8.5 if on a good day.
Well, I don't know if it's my turn. My fault.
Oh yeah, you good. You go.
Me personally, man, I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Tommy was saying, I did enjoy it visually and everything, man. I think like yeah, so far, like between the last phase and this phase, I think this was probably my favorite one. Um, I would say Jonathan Majors did a very good job, man, playing Kane. He did not miss a beat. Um, and of course, coming into this, I know everybody else had saw it before me, and so I was hearing mixed reviews, and that I heard that some people were like, "Oh no, they could have did better, did this and that, blah blah blah." The usual negativity. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to certain Marvel projects and stuff. But I really think they did good with this one. It's not perfect. I would say I would like to have had more of Kang, and like I do remember in the first half when he did like there when he had Cassie and Scott locked up, and he was doing that telekinetic thing with his hand. That was
Right.
I think that was the only time he did that, man, during the whole movie. And so like that was like a very cool ability he did, but then after that we never saw anything else of it. And so I was kind of it was kind of it underwhelming a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like Kang, like they made him talk a good game and everything, and it at times it did feel like he was an indomitable force and everything, but I just wish that like they did not like get rid of him this time, like this movie. It was kind of like the situation with Gore the God Butcher and Thor Love and Thunder, like a very good villain that had potential, you know what I mean, and he felt scary, you know what I'm saying, and you felt helpless around him, but they somehow killed him off in this first movie, which I think he should have probably stuck around for maybe two movies, you know what I'm saying, if you were gonna kill him off. And so and then the whole Janet thing, like Tom was saying, like that did kind of get under my skin. Like, God, Jesus, talk, woman. God dang, bro. We already know half of it. God dang it, you up
The
here throwing it back
secrets.
for half the dang on
Quantum realm.
quantum realm and stuff like that. They blowing your back out and stuff. Dang, talk. God dang.
Oh man.
Krylar, you nasty son of a bitch.
But
I
overall,
mean,
I would say 8.5 for me.
Oh yeah.
if you get a chance to hook up with Catwoman,
Yeah, right?
You got a point.
Can't say no.
yeah,
Oh
Shit.
man.
The OG.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I was gonna say the only good one, but that's not true.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of good ones since then, just not the Halle Berry one. And I take that back because the Halle Berry Catwoman was hot, just the movie sucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Even Hallie couldn't
Mhm.
save the movie. That's how bad it was.
Yeah,
Right.
when you change a character entirely and just basically call them the same thing, you should have just named it something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would call it lingerie woman or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
they could have went with Black Cat. Ah, damn it, that's taken.
Oh, yeah. That's taken.
Yeah, we are cursed. Let's see. Blake says, I think the telekinetic thing was powered by his bracelet that only could control what's in those cells. That's why we didn't see any more of it.
Mhm.
I think
I
that the bracelets did a bit more than the telekinetic thing. I think that he always had them on, didn't he? And
Yeah.
especially whenever he like fought, that's where like when we see the whole fight at the end where he's shooting the blue beams. I think that he's
Yeah.
replacing the telekinetic part with something that's like a plasma and just shooting
Yeah.
that out instead of it being I think it's to showcase that Kang has more powers than just
Mhm.
what we see. And then I think that and this is just one variant of Kang, and I think that
Yeah.
what Will was bringing up, that like them killing him off, I actually enjoy that because then it shows us how weak that Kang was, as
Yeah.
opposed to the
True.
variant that we see in that after credit scene, and we see that there's millions of them. There's countless of them because there's countless universes, you know.
But
So,
I think the reason why I said that is because he was the conqueror, right? And why was all those millions of variants of Kang scared of this one? Like, show me. You know
oh,
what
he
I'm
was
saying?
outcast. Remember, he was sent there as like as a
Yeah,
punishment. I don't think it was because he was strong or anything. I think it was that he was going against what the variants as a whole and the Council of Kang wanted, and
Yeah.
I think that's why he got banished to the quantum realm.
To quote Rick and Morty, I think maybe that was the Kangest Kang of all the Kangs,
Oh, okay.
and so he's the outcast. But do you want my review, Deontay, or
You could
Yes,
definitely
sir.
is
go.
that cool? Okay.
Uh-huh.
I would give it. I don't know that I'd go as far as like 8.5. I might say like a 7. I'll split the difference between Tommy and Will. I'd say it's like a nice 7. I will say out of Phase 4, No Way Home's probably my favorite.
Oh yeah,
Like, the 3 Spider-Men on screen was just too much for me. Like, honestly, and like that movie, like I've felt things watching that movie that I haven't felt since I was a child. Just like excitement, energy, whatever. Now Quantumania was good.
Yeah.
I would say out of all of Phase 4, as far as the Marvel only properties, not including the parts where Sony got to be a part of it, and usually Sony drags shit down, but Far From Home was incredible. I would say out of all of the just Marvel properties, Quantumania is up there as one of my favorite films of Phase 4. You saw in the reviews and stuff a lot like pacing issues. I didn't really feel any of that. I never felt the plot dragging. The hope was kind of unnecessary in the movie.
Yeah.
Which it's fine because they're keeping her around because she's the Wasp, and the Wasp is a big Avenger, so obviously they're just going to keep putting her in films until they have a better role for her. Really, Paul Rudd, man. Paul Rudd carries these films. I know that Jonathan Majors did a lot of fucking work in this film, but I don't think that Jonathan Majors playing Kang would have been as serious and as dangerous feeling if we had not gotten Paul Rudd playing his version of Ant-Man to a T. Like, he was just so good. Like, he just gets it,
Yeah, he really does.
And we've seen some missteps in the humor versus action departments in some of the Marvel films. Thor Ragnarok is probably not. Is it Ragnarok?
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. So Love and Thunder is probably a great example where the humor was a little bit off balance. And I think that Quantumania did a great job of just keeping it tight. Action, fun. Cassie, I agree with you, Will. Cassie was nothing.
Yeah.
She was like the spunky sidekick until she got in the costume, and then she was an actual character, which is great. I was hoping we'd see some more Young Avengers stuff. Didn't happen. I think the fact that we're getting this Kang, the one that they were fighting, called Kang the Conqueror, is a sign that he's not gone. Because out of all the Kangs we've gotten in the 616 in all of Marvel history, Kang the Conqueror is the most enduring one out of all of them. That beats out Immortus, Ramatut, all of the the Centurion, all of those versions. So I would say that while it looked like he died at the end, I think he's coming back. I think that one specifically is the big problem out of all of them.
Okay.
So I think it's kind of stupid because it looked like he died. And we've gotten that so much with like Loki specifically, but other characters in the MCU. But I don't think he's dead. I think he's going to pop back up, and that will have always been part of his plan, which doesn't make sense because who makes a plan that like I'm going to show up, be a badass, show you all my powers, and then let you beat me, almost to death, and then that's my whole plan.
Yeah.
That was
It
kind of
was
stupid.
all part of my plan.
But you got to remember, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing people he didn't exist. And so if Kang gets them convinced that he's dead, gives them room to work, especially once they know about him.
Pretty good, man.
Absolutely.
So, but I do think it's really stupid that we go from him being like so OP, just so like we definitely got that Kang in this movie that like ripped Thanos' spine out in the comics. That version of Kang. That's the version that we got as Kang the Conqueror in this. And then when Hank Pym shows up with some ants, that guy goes away completely.
Yeah.
And he just
disappeared.
Not solo, but dragged him basically. So that's
because then he's going toe to toe with Ant-Man, who has no actual fighting skills,
exactly,
other than maybe some boxing lessons from Hope, and he's he's kind of like standing ground against Kang, and Kang is an ageless warrior who's been around forever and can defeat anyone in hand-to-hand combat. So
that knows probably multiple fighting styles.
yeah, Scott should not have had a chance. But yeah, I'm gonna say hard 7.
Okay.
I can rock with that. I would say, as far as my review goes, I would probably stay with an 8 because Danny definitely shed light on a few things that I overlooked, especially the fact that this is Kang the Conqueror, and all the other variants of him aren't. I don't think they'll be paying too much of a visit. Maybe in live action they'll see Earth 616 and deal with the Avengers that way through the different movies we got lined up. But I'm almost 100% sure that Scott and Hope didn't kill Kang himself.
Right.
I think his technology, the guns and all the high tech that he uses, I think that was what he was using with the telekinesis. And
okay,
like Blake said, the bracelets that he had on had something to do with the cells that he was holding the prisoners in. And I could buy that for sure. I saw something though that it should be officially confirmed that he has telekinesis on his own. So I think everything else is just weapons, but telekinesis is baseline power. And I did see him use it too.
I do believe with Kang, all of his powers are tech based. I don't think he has any actual powers himself.
Yeah, they made that big change.
Double check or
yeah, we totally could. I know for Peyton Reed, the director of this movie, he wanted Kang to have one natural power. And then Jonathan Majors did an interview after that and said, yeah, I got telekinesis. And it's just like, if you got telekinesis, why do you need weapons, man? That is a pretty
Major said it. I'm not arguing with him.
Right. As big as he is, no, I'm good.
Right.
You thought you could win. I was sadly mistaken, sir. Please stop hitting me. I don't want any parts of it. Stop. I don't have life insurance. Stop hitting me.
I'm from America.
Leave me alone, Kang. You're a big meanie. Yeah, I'll give Quantumania an 8. As far as the cast goes, I would say Jonathan Majors comes in first place. Paul right behind him. One of my favorite scenes was Kang tortured basically Cassie. As soon as Kang lets both of them go, Paul just stands right in his face and he's just like, "Yo, you just hurt my fucking daughter, bro. It's personal now. I felt it. I'm not a dad. I don't know what it's like to have a daughter, but I understood like Paul's frustration or Scott's frustration with Kang. And he's just like, Kang's just like, you out of your league. I'll kill both of you right now. You better shut the fuck up. It's like,
okay, yeah, y'all. I think Danny was right. Like the tech is what gives him his superhuman abilities, like his telekinesis and his like everything, his durability and everything, and the power to travel through time and everything like that. So yeah. But outside of that, he has superhuman intellect and all that.
Right.
I'll give him that much. His superhuman intellect could definitely be considered a power.
Yeah.
That time chair, I love that they kind of redesigned the time chair to make it more, I guess, make it sexy.
Right.
Right.
It did look okay. It looked pretty good.
It was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
It looked really comfortable too, man. I just want that in my living room, honestly.
I know,
really.
Right?
Like I couldn't justify the extra space that like all the rest of the chair takes up, you know?
Right.
Exactly.
I need a much bigger house, but
like what if I cosplay as Kang and just fix my chair up to look like he is and just roll up in there like
Yeah.
Sir.
Well, ADA standard for aisle width is 4 feet. So as long as you can stay within that, I think you'd be all right.
All right.
Yeah, I honestly, I would fall asleep in that chair and just be like, "This my throne."
Dude, if it's anything like this one, I understand why he sits in it all the time. It's like really comfortable. Like,
Taking cat naps and shit because he's old. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And he got all the time in the world.
all the
all
time.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah, the dude, I actually want to cosplay as Kang so bad, but
That's
dude,
a lot of
I just love
makeup and
that
stuff.
Will's wearing a king hat in honor of me being on the show. I appreciate that.
Oh, definitely, man. I had
Yeah.
to. I had to. I heard you was coming, and I was like, "Oh, I got to do this in honor of you."
Yeah, it's perfect.
yeah,
It's perfect.
we'll definitely get some comically inclined merch as well. So
Oh yeah.
I know a guy. I could probably hook you up.
Okay, bet.
yes,
We can make that happen.
We'll
Also,
rock
Blake
it.
had like 4 shirts stolen off of his porch that were delivered to him. So if you see anybody else walking around town in comically inclined merch, it's probably Blake's.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna make that person go missing.
Yeah.
Give him his back. What else did I like about the movie? The characters were cool. This is like a Star Wars. This is the closest thing to Star Wars I've seen in Marvel so far, and I really enjoyed that. It's
Yeah.
Not to call you out on that, but you don't think Guardians of the Galaxy is closer to Star Wars?
the first one, or
Any of them.
both of them. Yeah, that is pretty Star Wars. I would say this one beats it just by a little bit, but
Do you
don't
think
know.
maybe a little closer to like Star Trek with the like away team voyaging on an unknown planet?
that could do it too.
But look,
Yeah.
but like with Kang and the telekinesis thing, could it be like the Force?
Force
You know what I'm
users,
saying?
yeah,
The Force users.
Yeah, there is that. There is that. You
the
know what?
flying buildings.
You right.
Janet having to stab somebody just to hitch a ride. It's like
And throwing it back for half the quantum galaxy. I mean,
Yeah, she definitely got around. And no shame in her game, man. I don't feel bad about it. You know,
Hey,
get
look.
get out there.
Hey,
Hank was down bad, too.
Her husband didn't have a problem with it. He was like, "Look, while you was gone, I was doing my thing too, so we all good."
Yeah,
He said, but you know what? She wasn't better than you,
She
baby.
could not bust it wide open like you. You know.
once
Yeah,
she was
Will.
gone for 7 years, she was declared dead and on her planet. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, she's good. She was in the clear. She wouldn't be breaking any laws or nothing.
Right.
Exactly.
You know. what I'm
Married to
saying?
who? It's the quantum realm.
Hey,
baby.
but he was keeping it. He was keeping it 100. He was like, "Hey, but none of them could bust it wide open like you, baby." You know?
Automatic
Well,
hall
he said
pass.
Nobody.
Like,
Of course
you go
he
to the
said
quantum
that.
realm.
yeah.
He said that to all of them too. He was
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, I ain't never been with somebody like you before."
right.
Damn, Hank, chill,
I'm
bro.
telling you, man. This
You be
dude.
listening to too much Future, bros. Stop it. Stop, bro.
There's like
You
an
know-
version of Ultron since Hank Pym didn't make Ultron in the
Yeah.
MCU. It's a
Yeah.
sex bot.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go. You know.
Hey, Janet and Kang had a little something, you know what I'm
I
saying?
bet.
They out
I
there
bet.
looking at each other like, oh, we made something. got a
You
little
know,
bit-
Kane curious about it. He was like, "Oh, a little bit of vanilla in my ice cream today."
Right, and she a cougar. Hey, wasn't nobody
And a
else
cougar.
around. Wasn't nobody else around, you know what I'm saying? And they were stranded for some time, you know what I'm saying?
You know,
Hey,
his
they
wife
got-
is dead.
They got needs, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Kang
Yeah.
got needs.
Like, yeah, damn it. There's no life in this quantum realm. And now there
Right.
is. What's up?
Yeah, like what the heck's going on there?
Is it giving me life? Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's
Dude, what was one thing that I missed about that movie? I would say the fighting was good. I do appreciate the improvement in Scott's hands, but I still think it was unrealistic that he was able to mollywop Kang a couple times. Kang did look at him crazy. He was just like, "You hit like a bitch."
Hey, what did y'all think about MODOK though?
Yeah, I was about to say that, man.
Yeah.
MODOK. I thought he was funny in the like.
He
I
was
think that no matter what,
hilarious.
I think that no matter what you were gonna do, he was gonna look ridiculous. But
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with this one, and I'm all right with it being self-contained. That this is the first and only time we'll see MODOK. Like I'm all right with that because he
Yeah.
died in Avenger,
Yeah.
and he died not being a dick.
An Avenger.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
I actually believe that was confirmed that MODOK is
Is he
returning.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I believe I
man.
saw that on Twitter earlier
Yeah.
today. It has been confirmed that MODOK
Of
is coming
course.
back for more Marvel
I wish
movies.
that was at the very end of the movie. Like, we see Kang will return. I wish that we saw that MODOK will return.
He's way more important. He's
That
way more
Like,
important than Kang.
dude, they were roasting this dude the whole movie, man. That he did not deserve that.
Man, Kang is flicking him around with telekinesis, like, know your place, bitch.
Hank,
At least
Hank was
I
like,
died in
"Whoa,
Avenger."
At least I died in Avenger.
what happened to your head, bro?"
Oh man.
That,
And seeing
that's
everybody
what it
just give
was.
in.
Yeah.
Scott up there making fun of his baby legs and stuff. Like,
Tommy, Tom, you're a big comic fan, right?
Yeah.
So, do you feel like the vibe for MODOK was accurate to the comics?
I mean, I think that MODOK is supposed to always be like, I think he was always comedic, like from the
Yeah.
very beginning.
yeah,
So I think that it's all right for him to have that comedic side to him and him to always get the short end of everything. I
Yeah.
think that that's very MODOK.
Yeah.
Because MODOK, like, that's what we kind of grown to expect of him, is just to
Right.
kind of be like the punching bag at the end of the day. Like, he's never going to be taken as seriously. But I like that he was trying to redeem himself at the very end. And I kind of like, I watched a little bit of that MODOK Patton Oswalt show as well. And like, I could see like maybe like a little bit of that humor bleeding into the MODOK that we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp. But I had a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
can
fun.
dig that.
I thought that he did pretty well. Like, and for being what we got from MODOK, that's probably the best we're gonna get. Like,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I loved MODOK in the movie. I was
yeah,
really just like, they pulled it off. Like they really did it, and they did it well. Because MODOK could have been so fucking awful. Like, they could have tried to make him way serious and like a real
Yeah.
threat to everybody,
right.
or they could have went way goofy, like way worse. I think it was good. I think I think it was good.
He
I love
had
the suit
such a
too. I thought
badass entrance.
the suit was really good on MODOK too. Anytime he had the face mask
Yeah.
on and everything, it was just it was really fun. And I like how
The
he
guns on
looked like
him.
MODOK. He had like the
Yeah.
things always sticking out of his suit and out of his little hover thing. So that made it even more enjoyable.
The
Yeah.
dialogue for him was great too. His little back and forth with just about every character was funny.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it was. Man.
Yeah.
I let the don't be the dick conversation slide. It was a little bit cheesy, and I was just like, "Come on, stop, please!" But
Yeah,
his conversations with Hank and all the others just seemed real MODOK
yeah,
accurate. So I let a lot of this stuff slide. My
But-
biggest complaint about this movie is probably the fact that Kang didn't drop enough bodies. Like, he should have taken at least
Dude.
one Marvel live action
Right,
character with him.
man. For him,
Not just
being
MODOK.
Kang,
Like, take Janet. You can take Hank. He should have went after Hank the whole movie. Honestly,
right.
in comics, that's the
Even just like a flashback scene of him just killing an Avengers team.
Yeah,
Would
right.
have been
Oh,
really
that
cool.
would have been really cool.
That would have
That
been
would've
sweet.
been
Battle of New York, you know?
Yeah,
yeah,
that would have been sweet, man.
yeah. Because
But, like-
Hank is like in comic books, that's like the dude. He's one of the people he's afraid of the most, besides Tony Stark. So it's
Yeah.
just like you should hunt Hank down and take him out first.
Hank's the scientist supreme of Earth. I mean,
Yeah, I
he's-
think this one was probably establishing why he was, such a threat to Kang. And like at first we didn't know why, but now we know. Like,
Yeah. It's pretty
Yeah.
poetic that Hank is the one that technically defeated him. He got the ants to align with them and take Kang out, but
Yeah.
I kind of got distracted by the fact that Kang is losing to these ants, but
yeah, I did too.
for the sake of the hero's victory, I let it go.
Yeah,
Right.
Because Hank could have killed 2 or 3 people. Honestly, like Scott could have
Yeah.
died. He stayed behind in the quantum realm. And the first time going through the movie, I sat in my seat and I was about shit myself. Like, he's going to take Scott. He's going to get Scott. No.
I did see a review that, and I kind of agreed with it, but it said that this isn't an Ant-Man movie. It is a Fantastic Four movie with the
I
Fantastic
feel
Four
like it,
removed.
though.
And I totally agree with that because
I do.
everybody in it was Fantastic Four villains and characters from the microverse. And
Nah,
you
I
literally
agree.
get,
Yeah.
you know, four people, you know, Hank, Janet, Hope, and
Scott.
Scott.
God.
You know, and obviously Hope is the thing out of the group, and then
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
That
I
is
mean, it
definitely-
works. This could have been a Fantastic Four plot.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Right.
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah, Hank and Janet is definitely Reed and Susan. So it's I'll give that a pass that those guys made it the Ant-Man movie and exploring the quantum realm, which is Quantumania itself is not even canon in comic books, so they just went crazy with their own idea with this, and I
That's
respect
because doesn't Mattel or Hasbro own the rights to the microverse, so they had to go with the quantum realm instead because of the Micronauts I think it's Micronauts. There was a toy line that they released based on Marvel properties that takes place in the microverse, and so for film and TV they can't use that term.
that.
Yeah.
That's so sad, man.
I'm
There's
gonna
so
tell
many
you-
properties that they can't have a ball with.
I tell you
Bankruptcy,
what I
man.
think
Mhm.
knocked like a whole 0.5 off of the movie for me was that god awful haircut of what's her name?
Oh, Hope.
Hope.
Oh yeah, oh my god. That thing was oh my god. Like you can ask Deontay the whole movie, every time they showed her, I was like, oh god, that's awful.
Don't let
My-
Kim hear you say that. That's his
Jesus
woman.
Christ. I don't
I have
care.
loved Evangeline Lilly since Lost, but she is not aging well. She just
No.
is not.
Who is it?
Just catching up with that woman
Oh
fast.
yeah.
She's getting roasted online for that hairdo she had
She
in
looked like
Quantumania.
what are those things off of Lord of the Rings? They had the short hair, but they're like midgets or like and they're hairy or
Hobbits?
they're dwarfs, right?
Hobbits?
Hobbits or dwarves?
Yeah, with the
What?
their haircut was awful, man.
It's talking about hobbits or dwarves, man. Which one is it?
Their haircut is awful. I don't know.
Hope the Hobbit.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Damn.
I can't do it.
So like a pixie cut is kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope
Yeah.
Hope is still cute, but Janet's
Oh
still
yeah,
the
she's
show.
still cute.
Yeah. Janet and Cassie, actually.
Yeah.
That's Bane for life, y'all.
Let me get a little bit of Janet. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is like, can I get some? Oh, dang.
Me next.
Tag me in. Bah!
Let's go, friend.
Yeah.
I'm picturing an Eiffel Tower here, and I probably shouldn't be.
I love France.
Right.
That's all I got for Quantumania, unless you guys got anything else for it.
I guess maybe the things I didn't like in it.
Oh, somebody said, did y'all hold up.
Did y'all explain how Hank found his wife so fast in Ant-Man 2?
I'm not going to make that inappropriate joke.
Yeah. As far as things I don't like, my biggest problems with it are Kang just becoming useless. Marvel has a bad habit of doing that, and it makes me think back to Infinity War, when after getting stabbed one time, Vision becomes completely useless.
Yeah.
When Vision's powers are not entirely based on like his phasing ability, he's also got super strength and flight and a whole bevy of other powers, including shooting a fucking laser out of his forehead. But then he gets stabbed and he becomes so weak that a character that got beaten up by Captain America, who is only as strong as peak level human, is just
Yes.
also handing
Thank you.
Vision his ass. That's a big complaint I have with Infinity War, and it seems like they did the same thing with Kang. They were just like, he's really, 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 really powerful,
But
until we get to the end of the movie. Then he's like, I don't know, he's like a guy, but like with some powers.
yeah,
So
He's
I
a
guess
guy with good hands.
that's my
Yeah.
big complaint. But the only saving grace for that is that it's probably intentional, so that they could pop him back up later. I don't know. I'm probably making excuses for the writing team, but that seems to be the biggest plot hole for me. It's the one thing that
Yeah.
aggravates me the most.
I don't know. I just wish they
That-
used villains a little bit more. Like
That and one other thing, the whenever his like battery, his
Mm.
power battery for his chair had
Yeah.
blown up, like the whole thing blew up,
yeah,
but they only needed to shrink the very core of it, and that shrunk the whole thing. I don't get that. That didn't make any sense.
you're
Anyway,
right.
that's
No, you're right about that.
why didn't they just
No,
shrink it from the inside?
I was actually thinking about the same thing as they were going to fix the core or whatever. I'm like, but what?
Yeah, because we've seen them shrink cars, right? They don't shrink the battery of the car.
Yeah.
They
Right.
shrink the whole thing, and it all shrinks.
Right.
So why didn't they just shrink the core from the outside instead of the center?
I don't understand, man. It is what
That-
it is.
That's my only other thing. I'll leave it alone after that. But
Brain farting is right going
Yeah.
on over here.
You got-
I would say my other complaint is that if Kang couldn't catch any bodies, at least let MODOK get one or something. But I really walked out that theater just like, man, Kang lost without taking somebody's head off, and it's. But I got over it. I'll
I'm
probably
really
come back
excited.
later. Yeah, I'll probably come back to that later because I totally forgot what else my other complaints were. But
do you think we're kind of getting the CW treatment with the MCU? Like they're just getting to where, you know, at first it was like we'll be hardcore and do some things, and people won't be able to like. People will just be, it'll be super unpredictable. We know, or maybe even like Game of Thrones in the first few seasons where you just never knew if somebody was going to live or die. And by the end of the series, you're just like, okay, everybody's living. Cool.
yeah, I really believe that for the fact that so many people died in Multiverse of Madness and and then basically everyone survived in Quantumania. There's a big difference between Phase 4 and Phase 5 MCU, and it's just I guess Sam Raimi kind of spoiled me with that. Like I watched Professor X get his head turned around and Captain Carter sliced in half. I was expecting,
Dude, Multiverse of Madness is such a great Sam Raimi film.
hands
Like
Right.
down.
it's a good Marvel film, but it is a great Sam Raimi film. Like it is in line with Drag Me to Hell and all of the Evil Dead movies, and it's just so good, dude. I just like. I think one of the bigger problems with it is with it, people's complaints about it are is that they're not fans of Sam Raimi's movies, and they were expecting a normal MCU film, and we got Sam Raimi making an MCU film, and it was so like the whole thing. I was just like, oh my god, that's the camera shot. There's the car. Oh, there's Bruce Campbell. Holy shit, this is amazing.
Wait a minute, what are we talking about?
Multiverse of Madness, and
okay.
how Deontay was saying how he's spoiled with the number of deaths we got in Multiverse of Madness compared to nobody
Yeah.
dying at Kang's hands in this
Yeah.
film.
No,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was kind of like a little disappointed. Like, I thought they were gonna go darker or something like that. Somebody had to go, but you know, everybody came out alive. Everybody was good except for MODOK, the dick.
Yeah.
So,
And
It's like, why is
Avenger.
it cool for Scarlet Witch to kill so many people, but Kang can't get
all
one
right,
body
bro.
from the
She
good
was
guys?
having a really bad day.
Okay, so was he. Like, he was trapped in the dang quantum realm for God knows how long.
Will, she was sad. Was Kang sad?
Kang, well, yes, he was depressed. Man. He was very depressed.
Was
Yeah.
Kang sad?
He did want revenge on the Kang Council,
Yeah,
so I'll give him.
If you kill people out of ambition, you're a bad guy. If you kill people because you're just really sad about a thing, you're redeemable. You can be a hero again. That's fine. You were having a bad day.
No.
fine.
Hey, he wanted your babies back.
Oh, okay, well, I mean, you know, whatever.
Well, that's like Baron Zemo.
Mhm.
You know, we go into Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he's just hilarious and fun, and everybody likes him. And it's like, This guy
Yeah.
murdered King T'Chaka and like hundreds of other people. Just straight up blew them up. He is a terrorist who was trying to kill the Avengers for fun. And then it's like, well, he's in a German rave and he's dancing, so whatever, he's cool.
We forgive him now.
Yeah. Let's let him lead the Thunderbolts.
Right.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
They've made a lot of characters so likable. With villains, they either make the villains very, very, very likable, or they kill them off completely.
And way too
so
soon.
it makes me curious.
You know
Yeah, it makes me curious of what they're going to do with Doctor Doom and Kang, because I know they're friends on occasions in comics. So
they kick
it's
it
a
in,
lot
man.
of opportunity.
There was a Doctor Doom Kang in the Council of Kangs.
What?
Yeah, there's in one of the like backgrounds when they start like arriving, one of them is Kang in Doctor Doom armor in the movie. I'll send you later. I'll shoot you a message with the image in it, or you can just Google it. It's pretty easy to find. But yeah,
holy shit!
Yeah, it's so I guess Kang is Doom in the comics right now. Is that a thing?
No.
The variant.
It's
Doom is
I know there's something like that going on in the comics.
Yeah, him and Kang and Doctor Doom right now. Well, before Doctor Doom backstabbed Kang in the
as usual
previous issue that I just got done reading. But they were chilling, man. They were back and forth banter, you know what I'm saying? The usual, you know what I'm saying, like me and Deontay, we get into our little arguments. We make up because we're brothers, you know what I'm saying? We good at the end of the day. It was that type of relationship between him and Kang in this issue until Dr. Doom crossed him and backstabbed him.
Again.
Doom will do as Doom does.
Yeah.
They take turns killing each other too. That's the funny part about it.
There
They're
was
best friends.
one part where this couple passes Doom and Kang up in a truck and they stop, and I think they were trying to roast Kang, and Dr. Doom was not liking that. They were trying to roast Kang, so he blasted them and killed them. And him and Kang looked at each other. They were like, "Yeah, that's what's up.
That's what's up, best friend."
And they high-fived.
Bestie.
There's a lot of metal clanking. It's like
just about, man.
That's my bro for life until he kills me.
I'm sure that in that scenario, Kang's just like, "All right, man, I see you. Cool. Yeah. I was gonna do that. You beat me to it. No worries.
Right.
I'll get you next time."
Right.
I owe you one big time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They were both
plotting on me. That wasn't me.
You know what I'm saying? But I guess Dr. Doom beat him to the punch. And
yeah. And Kang's last words were like, "Mad respect, homie. Mad
respect."
I can't wait to see these two together in live action. That is going to melt me.
Oh man,
God, tell me right now, who's Dr. Doom? Like, who is your dream Doom? Like, who's it going to be? I can't think of a single person that I'm like, yeah, put him in the armor. Like, not one.
No, man.
MF Doom's dead, so I mean,
huh?
I don't know who else to pick. MF Doom is gone, so I don't know who else to pick.
Yeah, dude. F in the chat for MF Doom for sure.
Who is that?
I feel like he's the only one who could play the supervillain.
Who is MF
Doom? Legend.
MF Doom, the rapper?
Yeah. The rapper, my man.
The rapper.
Yeah.
Rapper.
Raps with finishes.
Do not let this pasty dude in the bottom corner know more about this rapper than you do, bro.
You might have to give Danny your black card, man.
I might. Bro.
Got one, but I'll take a second one.
We have two cookouts for Danny now. Damn.
I would like.
I wanted to come to the cookout.
Like if we could get old dude from the first Fantastic Four, that's
Julian McMahon.
Julian,
yeah.
I can see that.
I just feel like there's nobody other than like just never revealing who the actor is. Like you could just have a voice actor, I guess.
Exactly.
But we should never see the guy's face. Like anyone you put in that armor, I'm gonna be disappointed in. I don't know who would be
Exactly.
big enough that I would just be like, oh fuck, that's Doctor Doom. Like, there's no
Right.
like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for a Doctor Doom. Like, I don't know who it would be.
I feel like with him having the mask, with the voiceover thing, I think it could work because I mean, we had James Earl Jones come in as Darth Vader,
Yeah,
and there's
like
no
Hugo
other
Weaving
voice
would
that
be
we
great.
can
But
attach to that.
yeah,
Am I like the only person that's what is his name? Adam Driver. Am I the only person that will let Adam Driver slide as Doom?
you know, I'm torn on that because he's a great actor, but I'm also so burned with Kylo Ren.
That's true.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind seeing him try to be Reed. I would much rather see him try to be Reed other than Doom.
He
Like I
can't
feel like
be Reed.
Doom has to be like someone that's more. I feel like he has to have the voice to go like to pack behind it. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like Adam Driver doesn't have that kind of that voice that you would hear Doom like ring in your ears, something that'll really stick with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's
you
got to
know?
be
I feel like
chilling.
that's what Doom should be.
Yeah, Reed has kind of an attitude, and I think Adam would pull off the Reed attitude.
Yeah.
The look is probably what'll kill it for me. So
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable with Krasinski being Reed than Adam, but
Right.
Keith Ferguson said Mads Mikkelsen. I could see that.
there
Okay.
it is.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That was my OG choice.
Yeah.
Really?
That was my OG choice. Very
Yeah.
first time I ever thought about fan casting.
Oh yeah,
Dr.
you
Doom.
did tell me about that though.
He's a good villain for sure.
You did.
Especially if it's a variant of him, is because he played that one guy from Doctor Strange 1, and
Oh
he
yeah,
got murdered.
that's true. He has already been in the MCU.
That's a huge that'd be a waste to just let him go away like that. And I would bring him back as Doom, honestly, because if you could make the Josh Brolin be Thanos and Cable, sky's the limit.
Right.
Different universes, but yeah.
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 For now.
Maybe Josh Brolin again.
Ooh.
You know, he'd be Thanos, he can be Doom, he can be Cable.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And to think he was in the Goonies, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he Sloth?
No, he was the older brother.
What the heck?
He was the older brother.
He
He was
was,
the
yeah.
older brother.
He was.
This
Holy-
dude is tripping.
Cut off sweatshirt and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like,
Fresh out of Jackson, Missouri. I like it.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that's it for Quantumania or Mania. And up next we got DCU's The Flash. That film comes out in June, so definitely expect us to do a full review for that as well. So now we begin the theories and predictions and why this movie's here in the first place. Because we know it's a Flashpoint story, but it's nothing like what we've seen so far in the comics. And I'll be okay with Ezra Miller for the sake of getting through the movie, but I'm not going to praise and champion him as Barry Allen going forward after that. So
I don't think that's something you're gonna have to worry about.
Thank
I'm
you,
here
Warner
for
Brothers.
Zod, man. I'm here for the return of Zod. It's been
what's your predictions, Tommy?
What are my predictions? Oh man, I have. There's so many thoughts that go through my mind. Like for one, I keep getting this question asked, like, who's going to be the villain of the Flash? Because everybody, like, you know, I've been asked 3 or 4 times, you know, who do you think the villain is going to be? And I wouldn't be surprised if Eobard Thawne would show up. At least, like, giving us that kind of, because if they're going to do Flashpoint, if they're going to do the Flashpoint paradox, they have to at least include some way, shape, or form Eobard Thawne, whether it's the Eobard Thawne from the future, or if we see like a variant of Ezra Miller's Flash or of a Flash that's from a different timeline that got screwed up and him becoming the Reverse Flash. I could see that happening. Right. But when it comes to everything else, I wonder if we're going to see like glimpses of what happened in Flashpoint. I wonder if we're going to see like a war that's going on that's involving the Amazons and involving the Atlanteans. And I wonder if we're going to see like these the group of like insurgent people, like, you know, Deathstroke, and then we have Lois Lane, who's in the shit, like dealing with everything and trying to help with reporting everything that's going on. And I wonder if we're going to see like a Martha Wayne Joker. I wonder if that might show up. Because I understand that Michael Keaton's come back, but like, and we expect him to be Bruce Wayne, but you know, this is supposed to be Flashpoint. So is it going to be?
I have not
Bruce
thought
Wayne?
of that.
Is it going to be the
not
Bruce Wayne
being
that we
Bruce,
see?
of this being Thomas?
Exactly. So like, I wonder if that's what we're going to see instead of it being Bruce Wayne, because then it would explain why Ben Affleck's in the movie, because Ben Affleck could be the Bruce Wayne that we know from these previous movies. And since Michael Keaton's up there in age, he's about the same age that Alfred was in the 89 movie. So I can see him being Thomas Wayne and him having lost Bruce at some point, and that being within the Flashpoint paradox. So I would really like to see things that were in the Flashpoint paradox come to fruition. I'm not sure how I feel about the Supergirl. And the reason being is that I really like that aspect of Flashpoint, that it's the Superman that we all remember, but he's scrawny and he's thin and he's sickly looking. And it's the fact that he's been hid away and put in this bunker. You know, when she pops out, she looks healthy. She looks like she's been fine. She looks like she's been living okay, and that like they've been feeding her. But she doesn't look like, you know, a Kryptonian that's not been in contact with the red sun and living on Earth for an extended period of time. Right. So with her, I'm not sure how I feel, but the return of Zod has me the most excited, because I enjoy General Zod in the original Christopher Reeves movies, and then I enjoyed General Zod when they brought him back for Man of Steel. And I really hope that in this one we don't see Zod's neck get snapped. I hope that we see him get put into the Phantom Zone. And that's what I want. I want them to introduce the Phantom Zone. I want there to be this prison for everybody, like for people to get stuck in eternally, where they just fly through space like in a piece of glass. Like, I would enjoy that.
There's been times they had to break into the Phantom Zone, and I love those stories, man. Oh man, I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but there's just some heat that you can do with General Zod. Like, I've watched the sci-fi show Krypton, and the actor that they had play General Zod, he killed it. A lot of people didn't approve of it because they race swapped General Zod. I don't give a fuck about that. It's like
the Kryptonian. I'm like, as far as we know, they could have the same kind of like races, and
the skin could be blue.
colors.
Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, like
that's stupid.
Like, that's
why.
Next thing you know, they're gonna be making M&Ms not sexy. Ruined my whole life.
Shit,
what would I do if I couldn't rub one out to an M&M? But yeah, no. I agree with what you're saying, Tommy. I also it would be really cool if whenever they do break Supergirl out of Cadmus or wherever she's at, if she starts out emaciated and as soon as the sun hits her, she just gets super healthy.
That would be really cool.
That would be a cool little nod to that comic, but I don't know that it'll happen. She'll probably just come out looking fine.
That's what I was thinking, because when we see her in the trailer, she's already in those rags that they have her in when she breaks out initially, and she already looks healthy. So that's why I was kind of like, I wish she was a little bit scrawnier, I would say. Kind of like, I would expect her to almost look like Christian Bale did in the, is it The Machinist? The Machinist? Where he's just all thin,
The Machinist.
Just bone. And
he got down to like 130 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. Like, even if they had to CGI it, I would much rather see that when she comes out, at least, before seeing the red sun, because that's where they get their powers from. So, like, I would expect to see that.
The yellow sun.
The yellow sun.
They did that for Dwayne Johnson. They could do it for her. His itty bitty body. Oh my god, that was.
Well, let's not talk about the greatest comic book movie to have ever come out of all time just yet. Said no one ever. But to the Reverse Flash thing, the Eobard Thawne, the running theory right now is that whenever Barry decides in this Flashpoint Paradox timeline not to save his mother, the other younger Flash disagrees with him, and then what we get is another version of him or the same version fighting Barry, but he goes bad. So it's Flash versus Flash kind of thing, or he maybe disappears into the times the
Speed Force.
I keep wanting to say Time Force. Power Rangers.
Speed Force.
Yeah.
He keeps disappearing. He disappears in the Speed Force and maybe comes back more powerful. But from what I understand, the villain is going to be Barry versus Barry versus Barry. So who knows? And
Yeah,
you know,
I can
Super
live with
thrown
that.
in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because
I guess Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate isn't going to show up in this, so might as well just throw the whole thing in the trash. I don't know.
Yeah, rest in peace, Kent Nelson.
Will everybody else locked up for you? Is everybody else locked up on your end? They're there.
No, wait, locked up. Wait.
Hi, I see you guys.
Are you good?
Yeah, you're moving. I could hear you. I couldn't for a second there. The only person moving and I could hear was Will for like
Oh, okay.
like
No,
10
I
seconds.
can see
there.
everybody.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was kind of confused. I was like, wait, what?
It's just me.
yeah. Because in the CW verse, Grant Gustin fights evil versions of himself at least 2 or 3 times in throughout different seasons, and I think that's pretty cool that they're going to try that again for like a live action film. At the same time, I don't really think this is going to feel like a Flash movie. There's so many Batman, so I think this might be a Batman movie with the Flash just so happened to be there. So
You know what?
I don't know.
Never mind. You know what? Never mind. No.
You know, Batman has been the only thing keeping DC kicking for a really, really long time. So I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah,
And it's really sad that it's like that too. Because
Yeah.
it's like
I mean,
why?
as much as Batman has like interesting stories,
There's so many other good, like
There's so many
Superman, Martian Manhunter stories, Flash. Like there's really good stories out there. Aquaman, like, has some good ones.
yeah, and then like there's the New God stuff that they won't even touch. Like, you know, we
Yeah.
have Mr. Miracle, Big Barda,
Okay,
you have the
so
stuff that happens on Apocalypse and the stuff that happens on New Genesis. So like
question. What if like the red Death version of the Flash is in here? Like, could that lead into
I
like
mean, yeah,
the
maybe.
whole the crisis, the Darkest Night crisis on I don't know if it's Crisis on Infinite Earth, but like, you
No,
know,
it would be
the whole
Dark
Batman
Knight.
Who Laughs. What is it?
It's Dark Knight's Metal. So it's
Yeah.
the Dark
Dark
Knight's
Knight
Metal.
Metal. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it would lead into Death Metal, and then after
Yeah.
that we would get the Dark Crisis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, could it be something like that? Could it be leading up to that? I don't know.
It
Like
could
I said,
be.
I don't know nothing about what's going on in Flash. Or like,
I think for that to work, though, for them to even do the Dark Knight's Metal stuff, they would have to do Final Crisis, because
okay.
you would have to have Batman get sent back in time,
Right.
and then it's during that time period that he runs into Barbados, and then
Yeah.
Barbados is the one that's the head of all the Dark Knight's Metal stuff. Like, he's the reason that it all kind of comes to fruition. So I feel like they would have to do Final Crisis, and we haven't even begun to think about crisis events yet, because this Flashpoint Paradox itself should be a crisis.
I would say that with the old team running DCEU, that was never ever going to happen. And I'd say if James Gunn had been in charge of this film being made, possibly, but the fact that this all comes from the old team and they're trying to merge it into the new stuff, it's probably whatever this spins out from is just going to be a restart for the DCU, and then everything else is just going to be dead in the water.
Yeah.
Poor Aquaman too.
Aquaman too.
It has me messed up because Aquaman's my favorite, and I really enjoyed the first Aquaman movie. I thought that them doing Throne of Atlantis was a really smart idea to kind of introduce people to Aquaman, and I just wish that we had gotten a trench movie where we get to see all these like beings that live at the bottom of the ocean when it cracks open and you see them all rushing out. And I feel like there's a lot more to Aquaman that they could have done. Like I feel like Black Manta is especially one of those characters they could really focus on. And I would love for them to develop the relationship between Aquaman and Mira to the point where they're married and have the child. Because I think that if DC is going to go dark, I would much rather them do the story where Black Manta does kill
kills his
Aquaman.
son. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's dark about it is that he kills a baby. It's the fact that he takes him as like he's not able to defend itself. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's what makes Black Manta more ruthless than people give him credit for being, you know, and I think that that's one of the Aquaman stories that's kind of under the radar for people. It's like, you know, Batman's gone through a lot, and the only Robin that he's really lost is Jason Todd. But Aquaman lost his only child that he had up until that point, you know.
Yeah. And it's always been on site for them ever since. He's just like, I see Black Manta at a grocery store trying to get vegetables and whatnot. I'm gonna fucking fight him. It's just like, damn, Aquaman. I know it's personal, but simmer down a little bit, because there's been times where they had to collaborate and they just could not get along. This is one of my favorite beefs ever.
I think that is brilliant. And then I wish that we could have seen a lot more of Orm as well, the Ocean Master. The Ocean Master, I feel like, is such a villain that not only is he the brother, like half brother of Aquaman, but like there's so much that goes to their dynamic and whether or not Aquaman really sees him as the bad guy. Because that was kind of the whole thing with Throne of Atlantis in the comics, was that he was trying to see on equal level with his brother, and he was trying to get his brother to turn back so that there wouldn't be a war. And he's sitting there, and he even goes against the whole Justice League so that they're out of his way, so that he can talk to Orm, so that Orm can just kind of go back home. And then Orm kind of explains that he was planning on this from the get-go. So it kind of adds that sinister layer to Orm. So I would much rather see that be fleshed out as well.
Yeah, there's so much you could do with Aquaman, and outside of Aquaman and his beef with Manta, I would say Namor and T'Challa probably close second as far as comic book beefs go, in my opinion, at least. But
yeah, because it's just pure hate, you know. Like with Joker and Batman, you have like a weird like love-hate relationship there. You know, Superman and Lex Luthor, I think there's an admiration on both ends, where, you know, Lex is a human trying to achieve Superman level things, and Superman is a alien trying to be as human as possible. So I think they both have kind of a want and need from each other. But with Black Manta and Aquaman, it's just like they just fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. My brother Ben is just flaming Batman in the comments right now. I don't know if you guys are catching all that, but
yeah,
I will say, and because I get to talk and he only gets to comment, that if Marvel had Batman, DC would have went out of business a long time ago.
Ooh.
Yeah, I will put that. I'll throw that gauntlet on the ground. As a lifelong comic book fan, DC, with every other character DC has, they're hit or miss with them. Some of the stories are good, but most of the time they paint themselves into a corner with their characters, and then they have to like reset all their powers and, you know, kill their families off or whatever and start them over again.
Crisis events. I mean,
yeah, and crisis events. Yeah,
Final Crisis wasn't that far away from this Dark Crisis, and even then we've had the Flashpoint Paradox and then Dark Knight's Metal, and those are all little crises in between. So,
right.
I will say that if you want to do DC Comics right, if you want to make DC movies and you want to do it right, you cannot skip the Silver Age. You can skip the Gold Age because that was so convoluted, but you cannot skip the Silver Age of characters because they started out so bright and shiny and happy and things were good. And that's whenever shit went sideways. And you can't just go straight to the darker characters. You can't give us Nightwing before you give us Robin. You can't give us the Teen Titans showing up in the DC universe if we don't ever have sidekicks to begin with.
Exactly.
There's not been a single good instance of Robin on screen as Batman's sidekick ever.
Right. I'm hoping with the Brave and the Bold movie that they'll finally have that connection that we've been waiting to see for Robin. But then
but
again, like I think they said, what Damian Wayne was
Damian Wayne, not Dick Grayson.
And that kind of, I would much rather see Dick Grayson back as Robin. Like, I mean, if we're gonna reset everything as like a slate, at least have him already be Robin and then introduce a second Robin in the movie. I think that would be much more interesting, and then we get to see Dick Grayson's Robin go from being Robin to Nightwing, and then we get to see like transitions happen with characters that we already are established with.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
doing more origin stories kind of it's getting redundant. We need to
Yeah.
have just
Yeah.
stories going off from wherever they are. And I'm one of those people that I think that we really should do the Justice Society first. I've always felt that
So
way.
you
And the
do wanna
reason
see Golden
being
Age
is
first.
I feel like the Golden Age should be done first because I like what Doomsday Clock did. I know that a lot of people didn't like what Doomsday Clock did, but I like the idea that without the Justice Society, you have nobody to inspire Clark Kent to become Superboy before he's Superman. And
Yeah.
without a Superboy, you have no Legion of Superheroes in the future because they come back and they take Superboy to the future.
Right.
So that's why I would much rather see a Justice Society, because then you would have a world built where people are recognizing superheroes, and that when Superman does come into the world, it's not like they aren't ready for it. And I like this idea that he can be Superboy, and I hope that that's what James Gunn is trying to do with this kind of like younger Superman movie that he's going to do. I hope that it's going to be something where he is Superboy. I want to see him go to the future. I want to see like some kind of dealing with the Legion of Superheroes. I want to see some kind of dealing with the Justice Society, just so that we kind of get those little bits and pieces of the DC universe that people don't really know about. How many people know who the original Sandman was outside of the TV show?
Yeah.
And even the TV show is the third Sandman
Right.
that we got way later. So I would much rather see them build these characters that other people would otherwise not know. And that's what I like about that Stargirl show, was that it was introducing Justice Society characters, and it was
Right.
getting us more involved with what DC can be and what it can expand to. Because at the end of the third season of Stargirl, they were setting it up for an Infinity Inc. show. They were setting it up for more Justice Society stuff. We were going to see Sandman. We were going to see different characters that we hadn't seen before. So I just hope that maybe they'll focus a little bit more on like kind of getting the Golden Age put in there, kind of getting that Silver Age in there. And I think that the Silver Age is really important.
Yeah.
The Silver Age is the most important place for DC, because that's where we get the big stories that happen with the Legion, where we get the big stories that happen with the return of the Justice Society, with Superman, Batman, and everybody kind of coming back. And we get a lot of new characters that pop out of the Silver Age, like Creeper. We get
Yeah.
characters like Dolphin, who people don't really know about. And I'm pretty sure that she died in Crisis on Infinite Earths. But I would much rather them build up a bunch of different characters so that we can have a Crisis on Infinite Earths, so that we can have a reason for us to condense down and then build back up again. Because I think that that's what DC should do. I think that they should follow the line that their comics did, where they kind of implode just to explode once more.
Yeah, because the way things are looking right now, James Gunn is probably nowhere near that as far as planning goes, because he's really hyping up the Authority right now, and the Authority is just such a outward direction from where he should be going. Because Black Adam, I wouldn't call that movie the Black Adam movie. I would call it a JSA movie, and give it more points that way. But if I had to keep calling it Black Adam, then if as a director, I would say JSA Hero of Kandahar. It should be the more accurate title of it. And that could have been a golden opportunity to explore Hawkman. You could explore other wearers of the helmet of Naboo if you wanted to, but there's no point in killing Kent Nelson. Pierce killed it. He's definitely the perfect Kent. And I would say if you did have to replace him, maybe like have his wife wear the helmet afterwards and have her find the helmet. Or you could go to one of the new school guys, but it depends on how far ahead in the timeline you want to jump. And with Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam, which is no more, thank God. But if he was a member of the JSA, they had some storylines that they could play with, and with Hawkman, you could even make him a spinoff. You can go back to Thanagar and go through stories about that. Introduce Hawk Girl. You could do so much with that. The JSA would be the perfect reintroduction for DC live action, and I really wish they would have done more with JSA as a whole instead of just starting off with this. All right, screw Shazam. It's all about Dwayne and Black Adam. It's like, okay, uh, good luck with that, but I don't think it's going to go too far.
Yeah.
James Gunn going off with Brave and the Bold and Superman Legacy, that could be a great introduction to the DCU. But it's his follow-ups like the Authority. He had another one that I wasn't familiar with as well. It's just like,
was it Creature Commandos?
Yeah,
Creature Commandos. That one.
that's
I think that one can work. And the reason that I think that one can work is that it would work best if he placed it in the 1940s and then introduced the JSA alongside them, because the Creature Commandos they come from Weird War Tales, and Weird War Tales is just war stories. That's all it is. That's where you get like the what is it, the haunted tank and things like that. So that's what I kind of expect with the Creature Commandos. But what I'm really excited for.
Are you familiar with Sergeant Rock?
Yes, Sergeant Rock.
Yeah, from that time period.
Of course, I know. And then you can't mix. And then you got GI Combat. GI Combat is another DC. And then our Fighting Army. So like there's plenty for them to pull from for like the war stuff. And I feel like you could introduce the JSA during all that war stuff, because then it would make sense that back in the 40s you have these group of superheroes that showed up, almost kind of like
Watchmen.
Yeah, with the Minutemen. You have the Minutemen, and the Minutemen inspire the Watchmen. So like I would like to see something like that. But with the Authority, that one kind of threw me for a loop, because that, for one, they were characters that weren't even DC property when they were first created. Facts. That's something that kind of tripped me out. I was like, why are you using characters that were not created for DC at first? Because you have Apollo and Midnighter, who were their first appearances in Stormwatch #4.
Yep.
So I would much rather see them focus on the DC stuff and not really the stuff that they bought later on.
I'm just blown away that we're getting the gay version of Batman and Superman as a couple in the main DCU movies. Like, and it's confirmed that's the team they're using, is that Authority team. So it's like, they were a play on Batman and Superman, and I think Midnighter and Batman together is fun. Like, they've done it a few times in the comics. I don't have a problem with it or anything, but I just think it's weird that right off the bat that's what we're getting.
Right.
I do want to apologize, Tom, because I was going pretty negative with they need to do the Silver Age, but dude, you're right. If they started with the Golden Age instead of giving us another Batman and they gave us Dr. Midnight instead, if they leaned into that,
people.
Yeah, dude, that's incredible. That'd be a great way to kick off the DCU.
Yeah,
and I keep screaming out for a Vertigo universe. I keep yelling out. I'm like, we need more Vertigo shit. There's that's something that I think that DC is completely lost on themselves, is how influential Vertigo comics were. I mean, you had Swamp Thing, you had Animal Man, you had Doom Patrol, you had Sandman, you had all these different things that were so out of the box and meant for mature readers, and they were meant to be something to dissect. And you have characters eating like tumors off a Swamp Thing and then having psychedelic hallucinations happen to them.
Dude, hire Alan Moore to write these scripts.
Exactly. And Alan Moore, I think, is, to me, I've grown to appreciate Alan Moore as like a writer in every aspect. I mean, I love not only Swamp Thing, but Miracle Man. I love Watchmen. I love V for Vendetta, From Hell. I love his Ballad of Halo Jones. I think Ballad of Halo Jones is brilliant, So I don't see why DC doesn't start pulling more from those really good stories that are out there, those really good writers that we've had in the past. Like,
Yeah,
and
Garth Ennis and Alan Moore, man, give us that DCU.
oh yeah,
Please.
especially like his Superman. I want to see Alan Moore's Superman, because Alan Moore's Superman is he's not the Superman that we see. Like, I love the one story that he does with Swamp Thing, where Swamp Thing has to get this thing that's attached to Superman's like chest or whatever, or Superman's carrying around this rock that's making him hallucinate of Krypton, and it's killing him at the same time. And if it weren't for Swamp Thing, Superman would have died. So like I would like to see things that are kind of like, Superman not really being Superman. And it's crazy, if you read the issue, you see Superman kind of looking like he's got a 5 o'clock shadow, and he's looking very sickly, and he looks like somebody who's been worn out and tired, and he doesn't look all muscular. And I think that's a much more interesting outlook on Superman. So I would like to see something like that.
Yeah, and taking a look at who is Supergirl now in the Flashpoint movie, is she reminds. Are you familiar with Mia Kent or Amelia Kent? She looks so much like her. With the short dark hair and all that. I thought
What
that's the
storyline is that
direction.
from?
That is
Because I know there's a comic book Supergirl that looks like the one that's in the Flashpoint or the Flash movie.
Yeah, because Mia might be Grant Morrison, I think. She was adopted by Supes, and she went by Mia for a long time. But James, or not James, or whoever's directing this movie, made Sasha Kaye play Kara Zor-El. So it's I can buy it for Kara Zor-El, but this would have been a great opportunity for Mia as well. What storyline are they trying to use that you have to use Kara? So
I think that they probably are using Kara. Well, I think that are they referring to her as Kara or Kara? Because I always refer to Supergirl as Kara Zor-El.
yeah, I call her Kara.
I believe it's
Zor-El.
Kara.
Yeah.
And the thing about her is that she shows up second to Superman, so I can understand them kind of doing her like let's say that like Clark Kent got knocked off course, and that's why he didn't show up in this universe at this time. They didn't say that Clark Kent didn't exist in this universe. They just say that Kara Zor-El is the one that landed. So we don't know where Clark Kent is at, and we don't know where he's gone off, and we don't know where his spaceship landed. But I'm more interested in how they're going to do Power Girl, because she's another Kara Zor-El.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
So, like,
the Crisis on Infinite Earths version.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
she's actually the Golden Age Supergirl. And then after Crisis, they didn't know what to do with her, so they made her Power Girl instead.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, I feel like there's so much that you could do with Power Girl, because Power Girl loses her universe, and and she knows that she's lost her universe. And I think that that's a really good story, like, especially for Thy Kingdom Come, not Kingdom Come, but the sequel that they did in the Justice Society book, where they had the Kingdom Come Superman come into their regular universe, and he's as lost and confused as Power Girl is. And I would love to see them do something like that. And I think that that would be an introduction to like Kingdom Come and other stories that are more mature or more kind of I would say like philosophical with what they're trying to convey in their stories.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure in due time we're getting Kingdom Come storyline for live action. James Gunn has done at least one interview where he expressed that could be an option for his DCU. But he's a huge fan of Superman Legacy storyline, and I kind of want to see what he does with that. He's more like a team. He's good with team heroes, but solo heroes, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. I would expect him to be a part of Titans. Like he could get away with doing Titans for live action. Peacemaker was kind of a team TV show. And then Amanda Waller's getting a spinoff that might be his baby too, but Amanda Waller's probably not going to be alone either. And then of course he has Suicide Squad. So he has a really good reputation with teams and Guardians of the Galaxy for Marvel. So if James sticks to his teams and probably leaves like writing solo storylines alone and let some other writer handle that, then DC should be okay going forward.
Yeah, I just I feel like all of this the thing with the fact that we know we're getting Damian Wayne, the fact that we're getting the Authority, I just feel like for setting up a new DC universe, there it's very much cart before the horse, and that concerns me.
Yeah.
That their rush to get away from origin stories is going to cause them to skip a lot of stuff that we need to see. And like like we were talking about earlier, dude, Nightwing is my favorite DC character. Like honestly, Dick Grayson is my favorite character from DC, and then a close second behind that is Wally West.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to get necessarily either of those guys going into this, so you know we should get that age of the sidekicks getting to become the main heroes. You know, when you know, Wonder Girl became a hero in her own right. You know, when the Teen Titans really became the main heroes of the DC universe for a little bit there. And you know, before the New 52, when they decided, you know, never mind, all of this character development, it was fun, but we'll go back to the originals. So I just feel like that's what we're getting. We're just going to skip all of that great history that DC has, and the one thing that I think puts DC above Marvel is their rich character history. That they seem to be like they bastardize at every chance they get now. You know.
Yeah, live action is pretty rough about that because despite the fact that people are so adamant about making Batman overrated, Batman has the most struggles out of all the characters in DC because everything is psychological about his battles against all of his rogues gallery. So it's you can't go up against Doctor Zaz and just a plain I see you in public, I'm going to beat you up street fight type of deal. It's you have to track him down. You have to use your detective skills, and then or Victor's ass has a lot more for him than he could handle. Guys like Hush that go around committing crimes with Bruce's face, and Joker too. So it's just like Batman should not be. What do you say? Underestimated, maybe.
Yeah.
He has just as much challenge as the other heroes do, and I will never become a Batman hater because of that. So
Right. I don't think it's about like hating on Batman. I think it's just the oversaturation. It's
yeah,
just I would much rather them focus on developing a story for Batman instead of them pumping out just Batman. Because if you look at all the animated movies, you know, how many are Batman and how many are, you know, Legion of Superheroes?
Yeah,
How
most
many
of them
are
are Batman.
Green Lantern, you know? So like it's just the oversaturation of Batman. I think that there's a lot of good Batman stories they could do, but you know, I think that they have other characters that could be definitely propped up more that kind of get put under the mat because Batman's first priority. Because you got to remember that not only are we getting this Brave and the Bold movie, we're also getting Batman 2 with
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, and then we're also getting a Joker sequel. So that's 3 Batman movies that they already have slated. And I know that Joker isn't really involved with Batman, but still, like that's a Batman property, and
yeah,
it's just I just feel oversaturated with Batman to the point where like I just kind of want to see a little bit more. That's why I'm a little bit more excited for this Superman movie that he's gonna do, because we're gonna see a young Superman and we're gonna see what I hope is the building of something with like the future, and hoping that we see Brainiac 5
thank
and
you.
Saturn Girl and uh you know, Karate Kid and all of them. I would love to see all those characters just show up, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really hoping for. I want to see like you know, Danny said, I want to see the Silver and the Golden Age. I want to see them build up all that stuff from the past, because without it, the foundation is just not there. You know, and I think that's why their attempts at building a universe keeps crumbling, is because they aren't starting from the very beginning. You know, they want to start from what's popular instead of what made it popular. You know,
Right.
Yeah, they only make it harder for themselves when it comes to catching up to Marvel. It's just like, bro, just take your time, crank out a good story. Because if you could pull off Peacemaker, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That is what Marvel did. They used founding Avengers that nobody gives a shit about to kick the MCU off. You know, nobody cared about Iron Man before Robert Downey Jr. wore the armor. Nobody cared. Captain America. I mean, he had a couple of movies previously. They're unsellable. Nobody wants that shit. It's Thor was a hard sell for a really really long time. Look at all the other on screen Thors we got. They were silly. So it's this is the thing that I don't think that DC is getting.
Yeah,
You could tell good stories with characters that aren't the most popular characters that DC has, and still build a good universe. And I think when they finally get around to doing that, and I think to what Tom said, that's give us a younger Superman, give us some Superboy stories, give us Legion of Superheroes. My God, some of the best DC stories spun out of Legion of Superheroes. Some of the best characters. That's the reason they've had so much staying power. That's the reason why the Legion's characters just keep coming back around, because they're all great.
And there's a whole lot of them. There's a lot of people
the
who believe in superheroes. Like, I mean, like Doom Patrol is DC's X-Men.
Doom Patrol is really more like DC's Fantastic Four, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But man, I really want to see, like I said, like a Vertigo kind of thing spin out, especially out of Swamp Thing. I think that Swamp Thing could be the catalyst for us to get John Constantine to come back, for us to get Madame Xanadu, for us to get the Spectre and the Phantom Stranger and all these characters that nobody's ever fucking heard of because they don't read comics, And I think that that's really important for DC to do, is to kind of introduce these characters, even doing something in the background. That's what I really enjoyed about Stargirl, because if you watch Stargirl, there's Easter eggs everywhere. There's it's like when they first moved in, the moving van says Action Moving, and it's in the Action Comics logo style, So I would much rather see them do things like that.
It would be a great James Gunn property. Dead Man.
Dead Man would be really cool.
James Gunn would saying the shit out of a Dead Man movie.
Yeah, I told Rob this a couple months ago too. Like, if anybody deserves James Gunn, it's got to be Dead Man, or for me, Titans as well, because he would kill the Titans for sure, in a good way. Way. I don't necessarily think Guardians of the Galaxy was his best work, but it got me by. Most people don't like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I thought it was okay.
Oh man,
I'm actually looking forward to the third and final installment of this, but James Gunn has his subjects that he needs to stay away from, and he has ones that he's strongest with, and I think he should stick to teams and then let other writers do everything else. So that's all I got to say about James. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that for as far as predictions and theories goes for the Flash, that's all I got. You guys got it.
About?
True that. we pretty much went crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you opened up the comic world, man. That's a whole world that some people have never even touched, and there's so much to it, man. And I almost wanted to add in, I hope that we get to eventually see some science fiction stuff happen and some horror stuff happen that isn't really superhero stuff. I want to see House of Secrets, House of Mystery. I want to see Adam Strange show up and do a science fiction adventure. I want to see Rip Time Hunter and his band show up and do a science adventure. So like I said, there's just so much more to DC than just the superhero stuff that they could tap into that could mix over with the superhero stuff, And that's something that I wish that they had done with Sandman, because in Sandman, if you read the first couple of issues, Martian Manhunter shows up, Mr. Miracle shows up, Batman and Green Lantern show up for a panel. So it's not that it's a separate universe; it's attached to the universe. It's just you have to open up the door for it, and I like that aspect of it being its own magic. And I think that you should have a magic aspect to DC. I think you should have a cosmic aspect to DC, and I think that you should have a superhero aspect to DC.
Yep.
Absolutely. Will, did you have anything as far as DC Flash go?
I left that to y'all, man. Y'all pretty much covered it and everything. I was just listening and responding to the comments and stuff, you know what I'm saying, checking on all that.
Yes, sir. That's all I got for DCU Flash. Yeah, our final topic is Cocaine Bear. So if you guys,
yeah, that one's one I'm gonna step aside because I want to be surprised. I want to go into it because I've only seen one trailer and I never looked into it. So that's what I like, kind of having that aspect to it. So that's what I want to go into kind of free. So it was good being on with you guys. You know, it was real fun to be back here.
Good
It was good seeing you, Danny. It was good seeing you, Will. It was good seeing you, Deontay. I will catch you guys again later, and I hope to be on here again next time.
Oh, most
later, Tom.
Thank you for coming out.
All right, you guys have a good one.
You too, man.
You too, bro.
All right, peace out.
Yeah, we'll just be dropping full spoiler review for Cocaine Bear. We shouldn't take too long because it's only two of us that's seen it.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, so once that's done, the show will be basically over.
Yeah.
So yeah, Will, how you feel about Cocaine Bear?
Like, dude, like I loved it, man. I'm not even gonna hold you on that. Like, I don't know if you've seen the post that I posted in a group chat last night. As soon as I got home, I posted. I was like, "Yo, Cocaine Bear, 10 out of 10, bro." I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I saw nothing wrong with it, no flaws. I look, it was everything that it was meant to be. And intent and the writers, the director, the producers, they knew what they wanted it to be. Even though, okay, yes, it is, some of it's true. Like it's based on actual, well, not actual events. I'm not gonna say that, but it's a true story. But some of the events in the movie is actually like they exaggerated on some of the things in the movie. And so, like, like everything they exaggerated on, I loved it, bro. Like a freaking bear hopped off of cocaine, bro. Like, popped the molly and is sweating. Like, that bear was zooted, bro. Like, the beginning of the movie is like probably my favorite part. Like when the couples they're out here nature watching and everything, got their cameras out, snapping pictures, filming, and they spot this bear, but there's something off about the bear. This bear is up here, like just on the trees, just having a good time and wiggling his body all on the trees and stuff. And next thing you know, it just takes a tree and just start pow, 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 just banging his head over and over. And the husband, I think he had the most genuine reaction. He was like, you know, they had the rules about the
Giants Bane from that's Tormund Giants Bane from Game of Thrones too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he said if it's black, you fight back. If it's brown, you run. But he was like, you know what, honey, I think we should run. There's something off about this bear. I think we should run. She's like, no. We stand and we fight back. And he was like, no. I don't like the way that it's looking at us. And she finally they run. They take off running. And anyways, the bear catches up to him. And for some reason, it goes directly for her. Like, not him. It skips him and goes straight for her.
You're like, fuck you, man. I want
And
your
like
wife.
just rips her legs off and everything, bro. And like this, and next thing you know, I don't know. The bear sees a butterfly, and it just goes chasing the butterfly, and that's what saved the man. But
Dope up.
I loved it, man. The Cocaine Bear is just so funny.
Is that his villain origin story?
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
much.
his villain origin story. He's like, it's actually a she. She's
Yeah, it
funny.
is. It was a mama bear.
She's there's times in the movie where it kind of scared me. Like I did get a little jump scare out of it. There's blood, there's gore. Everything is in this movie. Everybody is probably high off of something. They're tweaking. They don't know if they're actually seeing things or if the bear is actually there, which the bear is very real, and it is very much attacking and mauling people. But they don't know. Like a lot of people are just dumb in this movie.
That is true because
Like
even law enforcement is down bad in this movie.
heck
It's like,
yeah.
they have like
So
one old detective. I don't know if he was a detective or just a regular cop.
I think he was a detective.
The
Yeah.
cameraman just films him doing random shit and just chilling and vibing like 90% of the movies. Old
Just
black guy,
random.
just like, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee, and the cameraman just catches all of that, and it's just like, bro, why? It's just a cool old black dude just doing stuff throughout the movie, and then he finally gets involved with like all the cocaine that's lost in the forest and the bear like going after it. He's like the most educated person. He's like, you know what? This bear is addicted to cocaine. So I'm going to use the cocaine to lure it into a trap. And
Yeah.
everybody else was like, what?
Well, yeah.
Where did you get this from? The fact that the bear
The
got
fact
white
that it's high off of cocaine.
powder all over the damn bear. What you mean?
So it's gonna seek out cocaine.
Oh man, he was the smartest dude,
What
but he got betrayed.
yeah,
And
what about you, Deontay? Like what's your take on
I would give this movie
it?
from a comedy aspect a solid A. And then
Yeah,
for a horror movie aspect, I'll give it a solid B.
yeah,
Yeah, because oh man, based on true events, it's like you feel like you're watching a documentary, but then you see how outrageous the
yeah.
gore gets, and it's just like, okay, the director just had a little fun with this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, man, this bear pulling people apart.
Yeah.
The bear is like chasing full speed after an ambulance and then
Oh my
jumping
god.
and flying into the back.
Oh my god. Bro,
Kills the TikTok dude that
Yeah.
always does his rants.
yeah.
Yeah. He's like
It's
he lost
like,
the arm. They have a crooked cop that doesn't die for some odd reason, and then
I
the
wanted her
cool
to
old
die.
black guy, who's obsessed with like a very what kind of species of dog? What kind of
Like
breed
I
of
think it
dog
was
is
a
that?
Pomeranian look like.
But
I'm not gonna lie.
an old black cop obsessed with a Pomeranian the whole entire movie. It's oh man, this movie.
Who plays that cop?
What is his name? He's in every meme that's guy that says she all the time. He's the only dude that says she all the time.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Oh, my phone's about to die.
Uh-oh.
Never mind.
Okay.
I ain't looking up shit.
This is the cast of Cocaine Bear. I'm gonna Google this real fast. Isaiah Whitlock.
Yep.
I can't remember what other TV show he's from, but he says she in a lot of his
And
movies
then,
and TV shows.
You got O'Shea Jackson Jr. in it. He's
Ice
great
Cube.
too, man.
He violates a pair of Jordan 1s.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Like-
He's walking.
Another one of my favorite parts is when these kids are like he's in the bathroom minding his business at a rest stop, and he walks in and there's these groups of kids and they have like a pocket knife pulled out on him, not knowing that he's a drug dealer and a gangster. And so like they pulled his pocket knife out on him, thinking they're going to scare him, thinking they're going to intimidate him and like into, giving up whatever they wanted him to give up. And he looks at him like, yo, I will pop a cap in y'all asses. And they're like, you think we're scared of you? Blah, 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 blah. This dude straight, they come at him with the knife, and he soloed all 4 of them. Was it 4?
It was 3.
3.
It was three dudes.
Dude whoops all 3 of these kids, man. These zesty dressing kids. I don't know what was what was up with these dudes, man.
It sounds like they needed it.
Yeah. And so and he ends up taking one of them hostage to lead them to where the cocaine is, because they took the rest of the cocaine and they hid it. And so the whole time is him, the cocaine dealer's son, who's all tore up about his girlfriend dying.
Butthurt, completely butthurt.
And this dude was crying like the whole movie, being all soft and sensitive. And it's so funny, man, because you have Ice Cube's son, who's playing this big tough gangster dude, and he's up here. He has to drag along the
crybaby,
the boss's son, who's crying and stuff, listening to all these
hello,
love,
is it me you're looking for?
And then they have this kid with them who's up here like that. He knows where the cocaine is, but he's just giving him a very hard time the whole time through the movie, and it's hilarious. It's like the Three Stooges. Yeah, that's the best way I could put it, man.
They had Carrie Russell is one of my favorite actresses, played a single mom.
You love her, don't you, man?
Yeah, she is the GOAT.
Television's Felicity.
Oh, wait a minute. What?
Absolutely.
Is she that bad?
She was also the wife in The Americans. I can't remember the last names, but she had a completely different name in Russian, but she was a KGB spy in the Americans TV show.
Yeah.
Carrie Russell, she's killed that role. And that's how I've always known her. I've seen her in other roles.
She was in Star Wars too, right? What was she? It was episode. What is 8 or 9?
Yeah,
the Force Awakens. No, what is it?
Was she the mom?
Is it Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
Okay, she's the lady with the like gold mask and the red bodysuit.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's her in that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
she was in Star Wars.
Now that I think about it.
But yeah, man. And then there's these 2 kids that find the cocaine and they get high off of it, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's so crazy, man. Like everybody's getting high in this movie, and the bear's just running around and ripping people limb from limb, trying to track down all the cocaine and bring it back to the Cubs. And the Cubs are high too. It's so crazy, man. It's like, it's a trip. The whole movie is a trip. Like, if you were high watching this movie, man, may God have mercy on your soul, because you're gonna be tripping out too, man. Everybody in the theaters was tripping out, man. Like, I think me and Deontay were the only black people in there. So you can just hear us in the back commentating on the whole movie, like, "Oh, hey, no,
don't open that door."
Couldn't be me, man. Couldn't be me. I'm too black for that. Like, it was hilarious, man, and everybody was cracking up in the theater. So it was a good time, man. Like, I think that's part of what makes it a 10 out of 10 for me, was the whole. Not just the movie, but the experience overall, man. Everybody in there cracking up, having a good time. there's two black guys in the back commentating on the movie, making it twice as funny. So everybody's cracking up even more. And so like it was just a good time, man. So it was a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I that's the first time I was in tears in a while watching a movie and laughing at it. So
Yes.
I give mad props to the comedy part of it.
Oh man, yeah. They did
Yeah.
good on the gore part too, man. So,
We may come back around later on and probably cover it a little bit more, or in like a maybe some bonus content, or maybe
right when
even a watch
everybody's
party.
watched
Yeah,
it, just to ask, their experience and what they think of the movie. You know what I'm saying? But this
yeah,
is just our account of it, man.
yeah. Because there's so much more I can say, but I know I'm personally about to run out of time as well, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead go to the announcements, and I know Will's been itching to drop the gems for everybody.
Okay, you got anything you want to say before or do
Um,
you want me to go first?
do I see us at Anime Con? That yeah,
Okay.
April 1st through 2nd.
Yeah. Definitely. We will be there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Are we doing the podcast from the
Yeah, so you
con?
guys are gonna be doing a live show in the panel room if people want to come and like watch it done
Okay.
live and then ask questions or whatever. Yeah,
Oh,
Anime on April 1st and 2nd. Also, don't forget to check out Comically Inclined. We'll be live this Wednesday, as we are every Wednesday, 7:15, 7:30ish. Just depending on computer issues or me messing with shit or whatever. Like last week, our internet went down like literally the minute I was getting ready to put the show up, and then we had to sit here and wait for it to come back up. We're like technical difficulties. The series is like our main thing, but just check us out. Check out AnimeCon. Go to the website. Get you some merch. Helping
Yeah.
us helps you. The more
Amen.
the more you
Absolutely.
spread the gospel of Comically Inclined and Saturday Night Nerds, the more you continue helping us be around to do this stuff for you guys. And then
Hallelujah.
I don't know about everybody else, but I had a freaking blast. So.
Oh man,
Yeah,
yeah.
I definitely appreciate you coming out and
Man,
Dude, it was
fun.
awesome. It was awesome. Thanks for having me.
And as
that's
far
no
as
problem.
the announcements on our end, you sure you want me to drop it? We ready to drop it?
It depends on which one, because I know we have at least 2 or 3, and then that's it.
Okay.
There's
I am
one
so
major
erect
one.
right now.
There's one that Jeff says is priority number 1, a
what's priority?
milestone that we just hit with Twitch.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we just hit let me 108, was it?
100. We
100?
crossed the threshold of 100.
100? Yeah, 100 followers, 108 to be exactly. Or let me make sure, check back over there. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, 108 followers over on Twitch. And yeah, man, like yeah, we were at like before we even started, we were at like what 100, well not 100, but 89 or yeah, 89
Last time
followers.
I heard
And
something, it was like 50, 56.
oh,
That's the last time I checked.
yeah, within the past couple of days, like it went from 56 all the way up to 86. And as of the show, after we went live and I just checked on it, we went from 86 to 108 followers. So yeah, like that's a milestone, you know what I'm saying? And I could not have done it. We could not have done it without all of you guys that made it possible. Thanks, Comically Inclined. Thanks, DFPN. Thanks to everybody in the group chat, in on the Saturday Night Nerd group for making this happen. Thanks everybody over there on Twitch for making it happen. Look, man, we love y'all and we appreciate you guys for just coming through for us, man, and just like boosting us, you know what I'm saying? And we're trying to make the best content that we can, the quality content, you know what I'm saying? And we're trying to give you guys the best of the nerd gospel, the nerdism, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and we're just building our empire brick by brick, and one day we will take over, and one brick at a time, you know what I'm saying? One brick at a time.
Yeah.
But yes, the empire will rise, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? Thank everybody. You know, there's so much love to be spread throughout the nerd community, and I just want to give you guys the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys deserve it. You know, to give you a platform to where you can use your voices and to speak your mind, be yourselves, be the best nerds that you can be. Over here at Saturday Night Nerds, and yeah, we're just we're gonna go higher, definitely. Hey man, like I promised y'all that by the end of this month we'd reach 100 over there on Twitch, and my God, did we reach 100? And yeah, man, like it's really surreal. But also, speaking of merch, you know, we do have merch. We will be dropping the link um, over in on the Saturday Night Nerd Facebook group. We'll be dropping it on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Instagram. So whatever media you on, and you just look up Saturday Night Nerds. We should have the and YouTube also. We should have the link somewhere, either in the description or on the page somewhere. So yeah, just click that link and it'll direct you straight to the store. Right now we just have the Saturday Night Nerds logo, t-shirts, hoodies, handbags. We have the half hoodies for the girls. You know what I'm saying? Something a little something sexy for the summer.
You can't tell me whether or not I can wear a half hoodie or not. Will.
Oh yeah, you can. Oh, you can wear it, man. We got phone cases for iPhones, Androids, mouse pads, you name it. We got the pullover hoodies. We got the sweatshirts, the sweatpants. We also have the Power of Tournament merch that's out on the merch page also, and that right there was inspired by a good friend of mine's named Daniel. We were all talking one night, and somehow it came up like we were. I don't know if anybody else gets the reference. You remember the Tournament of Power from DBZ or Dragon Ball Super? Instead of saying the Tournament of Power, he accidentally said the Power of Tournament, and we just ran with it because it was too funny, man, not to. So yeah, hey, make sure you get that the Power of Tournament merch. I'm telling you, it's the most OP power in the anime universe. You can't beat it. But yeah, I think that's about it for the for the announcements on my end. But yeah, anything else, Deontay? Nerd King, you got anything you want to announce?
I think I got all my juice out, bro.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Well, I just got to give a shout out to Mac and Mac over at DFPN. Thank y'all for helping promote each of our episodes from season 1 up until now.
We appreciate it.
Shout out to Blake and Danny for coming through for us, for being on the show. Blake was here for the SNN Awards, and now we have Danny for season 3, episode 2. I definitely appreciate you guys. We will see you guys again in future episodes, and don't forget Wednesdays at 7 p.m. ish. We'll post it in the group, but Comically Inclined goes live, and then you'll be able to watch them show out and show some ass. So
there might be half an ass between Blake and I both.
Hey,
yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, but that's all I got. Everybody that tuned in, thank you for watching this show. And if you just now new to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and we will keep you guys updated on any further announcements as far as SNN goes. So without further ado, this is the end of episode 2. Thank y'all for all the love and support. Stay safe, stay nerdy, and stay blessed.
Yes, sir.